Happy New Year, Raritan High School. Welcome back. I'm Christian Mansueto, and you're watching Rocket News.
And I'm Anthony Barone, and welcome to the show.
Part of our appearance while we continue to upgrade the studio, which is still currently under construction. Stay tuned for our new set after the holidays.
Any girl interested in coming out for softball this spring, our Google Classroom page is up and running. Use the code SBUYLFW to join today and get all updates on fundraisers and upcoming off-season workouts leading up to our season. Any questions, please see or email Coach Rosner. All staff, don't forget to send in all announcements and sports recaps to announce@hazlet.org. Now let's see what's happening outside the school with RNN.
I'm Daniel Ahern, and here are your top stories for today, January 3rd. On New Year's Day, a man drove a pickup truck through a large group of people on Bourbon Street, New Orleans, killing at least 14 people and injuring more. An ISIS flag was hanging off the back of the truck, and the Federal Bureau of Investigation called this an act of terrorism. The man driving the vehicle was identified as 42-year-old man Shamsuddin Jabbar from Texas. He was killed shortly after this attack in a shootout with police. President Biden stated that before the attack, Jabbar posted videos to social media indicating that he was inspired by ISIS, expressing a desire to kill. South Korea's presidential guards and military troops prevented authorities from arresting impeached President Yoon Suk-yeol on Friday in a tense 6-hour standoff inside Yoon's compound in the heart of Seoul. Yoon is under criminal investigation for insurrection over his December 3rd martial law bid as done in South Korea and led to the first arrest warrant to be issued for a sitting president. It was judged that it was virtually impossible to execute the arrest warrant due to the ongoing standoff of the Corruption Investigation Office for higher-ranking officials. Almost 4 years after, 2 pipe bombs were placed near the headquarters of Republican National Committee and the Democratic National Committee of Washington, D.C. The FBI says it is renewing its efforts to track down a suspect by releasing a new video of the individual placing one of the bombs near the DNC. The FBI, which still has no suspects and has not determined a motive for the crimes. Now let's go to sports on air.
Good morning, Raritan. I'm Justin Casimir, your host, Sports on the Air. College football has started, and
the college football playoffs has started.
I apologize. Boise State versus Penn State, and going to the game, I think Penn State was like 7-point favorites. They were heavy favorites. You know, they took care of business. They loaded the box against Ashton Jeanty. I mean, Ashton Jeanty was the only player on their team, so it was a really easy game plan. And even though Ashton Jeanty really didn't have a good game, you know, he still did the best he could with. He was up against like 8 people. Like, what was he supposed to do?
Yeah, they were game planning against him. He fell just short of the record. I mean, hard-fought game, and at the end, Penn State just came on top by a pretty good amount.
I mean, they had the far better roster. Like, it was obvious
they pulled away at the end and just
Ohio State, Oregon, 41-21 was the final score. Ohio State opened up the game scoring 34 points unanswered. Ohio State has a real shot at going all the way and winning the championship
Oh,
here.
yeah. Those two receivers are
Wide
absolutely
receivers are.
Oh, Jeremiah
Absolutely.
Smith.
You're talking about
is
Jeremiah
crazy
Smith and
good.
Emeka Egbuka.
Yeah, absolutely incredible.
Jeremiah Smith is going to be the first overall pick in 2027.
I mean, listen to this stat. Jeremiah Smith had 5 receptions for 161 yards and 2 touchdowns in the first half.
yeah, that's crazy.
I mean, as a 1 seed, you're gonna get let up 31 or 34 points in the first half. Like that's ridiculous.
I got
You go-
Ohio
you go
State winning it
score.
all.
Yeah,
They're
I mean,
good. They're really
very
good.
I think it's obvious at this point.
Yeah. All right, for Texas Arizona State, this was actually a much better game than I was expecting. I mean, it went to overtime. Arizona State had a comeback at the end after being down 24-8 in the fourth quarter. Scatterby was legit. He's going to be a second-round pick probably in the draft. And I mean, Arizona State had them the 4th and 13, but Texas converted and then scored a touchdown on the next play, and it was over from there.
Yeah, they had the game wrapped up. I mean, they were up like 10 points. Whoa, 10 points in the second half, and they were just
They're up by 16.
they're up by a lot of points in the second half, and they were just blowing it. You know, like they had no reason to come back, and they
Yeah.
force OT, and you know the rest is history.
It was a great game.
It was a
gonna
It
go
was
down in history.
one of the best games I've seen.
Best game of the playoffs so far, obviously.
Yes, by far.
Notre Dame versus Georgia. Going into the game, I was expecting me and my partner right here, AB. We were expecting a low-scoring game. Both great defenses. I was expecting Georgia to win. I couldn't believe Notre Dame was able to do that. Offensively, they did not do good. What was the stat line? It was like 57 seconds. They scored
17 points in 54
Yeah.
seconds.
I mean, that's
You can't
that's-
let that happen.
That's Georgia's
I mean, come
problem. I mean, you fumble inside. Trevor Etienne fumbles on the about to go into the red zone or going into the 10-yard line. You can't do that. That just ruins the momentum, ruins a scoring play. And before the second half, the left tackle gets burned. Absolutely.
Georgia,
on a
they
bull
just
rush.
couldn't get it going.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
they
they
had
couldn't.
0 turnovers, and Notre
They,
Dame
they,
had 2.
they didn't have the
They didn't have
the-
the clutch gene. They didn't have the
Exactly.
clutch.
They needed back. They needed back.
they didn't
I
have
don't
the
think they
big
need back.
play
I just
factor.
feel like
I think
didn't
they
have the
do.
clutch in them.
All right.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, okay. On to Vikings versus Lions. This is the most important game of the season so far. The winner gets the 1 seed and the loser gets the 5. The Lions are home. They took the first one on the road on a Jake Bates game-winning field goal. I mean, this is going to be a great game.
Yeah. The Vikings are just looking hot. I'm taking them to win by 7. I really
You think so?
I really
wow.
think they can win this
okay.
game.
I mean, I do like the Vikings to win, but
I feel like this defense is too banged up. I feel like they just can't stop Jordan Addison and Justin Jefferson. But that's all we got for today. Thank you for having us.
That's all. I'm Chris Mansueto, and thank you for watching.
and I'm Anthony Barone, and have a frisky Friday.